They're going to do away with the whole property taxes in Florida. Maybe you've been watching the news or listening lately. They've been talking about doing something like this. I don't know all the details about this. This video is not about that. I'm sure you can find plenty online, and it's still somewhat unknown. Instead, today, let's talk about property tax portability, which is also called Save Our Homes. Now, this is going to apply to Florida residents only. And so if you're in another state, you don't need to watch this. This is maybe if you're thinking about moving, buying, or selling in the Central Florida area, but this applies to all of Florida. But we service Central Florida. And thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Brian Stevens. I'm with eXp Realty, licensed for over 30 years. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. My goal is to add value to you as you've tuned in to learn a little bit about property tax portability. And let me say this, full disclosure. I am a real estate agent. I am not a tax person. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience with this, which is only positive, by the way. But when in doubt, go to the Polk County Property Appraiser website, and they'll give you all the latest details, and you can really dive deep and get all nerded out if you want to. But this video is going to give you just a few points about something, what I know about portability. Let's get into it. So number one, the Save Our Homes portability is it's widely misunderstood by out-of-state buyers. So if you have a Florida homestead already, okay, you can transfer up to $500,000 of your accumulated tax benefit to a new Florida home only, okay? But couple caveats. You've got to do that by March 1st, okay? And you've got to do it within 3 tax years of abandoning, meaning moving out or transferring ownership of your other property, or you lose it permanently. So, for example, I sell a house for $500,000, for example, $500,000. I've been there for 7 years, and I've accumulated, not my homestead exemption, that's a different topic. I've accumulated portability tax because I've lived there for 7 years. So say I've accumulated $100,000 in portability tax, okay? You would see that line item on the Polk County Property Appraiser. It literally says portability / Save Our Homes. So in order to claim that for your next Florida home, within 3 years, you can transfer that over. Now, here's the easiest way to do it. And this is what I did about a year ago. You go to the Polk County Property Appraiser website, you file for your homestead exemption on your new home by March 1st of that year to apply for your tax bill that you'll get billed for in November of the same year. So by March 1st, you have to do this by. When you're walking through the website, you're filing for homestead exemption. As you're doing that, you'll walk through different stages, and it'll come to a point saying, do you have any portability tax you'd like to transfer over? And then you would say yes, you put in the address, click a couple buttons, and then they do it for you. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And let me tell you something. Right now, for married couples, well, I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to come back actually. But right now, currently, summer of 2026, my wife and I can get $50,000 of homestead exemption that we can apply toward our exemption every year in our primary residence. Now, we just accumulated money that we lived in our home for 7 years of our previous resident. We had that portability it was over $100,000 that basically is reducing my property taxes is what it is, that we brought over to our other house. So it was a wonderful thing. And then that's only going to grow every year a little bit, but it's a nice property tax reduction benefit. So that is called the portability. So number 2, this is really important, and I learned this as I was studying this. Upsizing, right, versus downsizing, it changes the math. So if you're moving to an equal or higher value property, you get your full benefit. Every single, if it's again $100,000, if you were selling a $500,000 home, you're moving up to a $600,000 home, you're transferring that $100,000 portability, that's going to transfer over because you're buying a equal or higher value home. Okay? But if you're downsizing, it's going to actually be a percentage base. So maybe you're moving from a $300,000 home down to a $180,000 home. You're downsizing. Well, it's only going to transfer 60% of that portability to your other home. So it's going to be less of a value because you're common sense. You're going from something greater to something a little bit less. Okay, number 3, out-of-state buyers, you don't get any of this on your first purchase. Sorry, got to be here a little bit. You can't just jump in here and get it. So it's portability only applies if you've already had a Florida homesteaded property, kind of like I mentioned in my example. So first-time Florida home buyers, you start fresh with no assessment and you have a cap benefit, which is a distinction to clarify for relocation buyers versus current Florida home buyers moving within the state. So if you're moving here from out of state, you're not going to get to assume any portability. Now, maybe if you go to the Polk County Property Appraiser website and you see it, say it's on a property you're looking to buy, that particular seller can transfer it again if they're buying another Florida property. But if they're moving to Georgia, for example, they're not going to be able to transfer that, but you don't get to keep it either. It's just going to go away. Number 4, and this is very interesting. Again, I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but it's right now summer of 2026. So the Florida legislature passed HJR 1F. It's a lot to say in one mouthful, on June 2nd, so like a month ago, which would raise the homestead exemption, this is amazing, from $50,000, which you currently have now, to $150,000 in 2027 and $250,000 in 2028. That would be amazing. Now, it's really adjusted for inflation is what it is. So it'll be eliminating the non-school property taxes for roughly 60% of homeowners, of homestead homeowners. So it will go to voters November 3rd of this year, 2026, and it needs at least 60% to pass. I hope it passes. I can tell you our property taxes here, I think, are very expensive. But again, it's all relative depending on where you live, where you're moving from. But this is a huge timely hook. This is huge. So it's going to be what's on the ballot. And man, I hope it passes. It's going to be amazing. And of course, they're all talking about no property taxes and all that good stuff. I don't know. I have no idea if that's going to work. But anyways, so let's hope that happens, right? So I'm sure everybody's got an opinion on that, but I think it would be great. Number 5 is this, to file portability, okay? Again, it's the same exact stage. You can go down to the property appraiser office if you want to do that. You're able to do that. You're going to need to check with them on documents. But if you want to do it online, it's really, really easy. It's going to be your homestead exemption application, right, through the Polk County Property Appraiser. And again, you're going to go then, and there's going to be another drop down as you're filing it. It probably takes all of 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to need some Florida IDs. You're going to need registration. You need an auto registration. This is for homestead exemption, but you're going to see the portability part will be right in there. And it's amazing. By the way, true story just happened to me this week. Okay. I was thinking about the amount, but I was closing a home with a couple, super nice couple in the downtown Lake Hollingsworth area. They were selling a home, closing on their home in Eaglebrook, right? They had been in that home for 12 years. They had accumulated a couple $100,000 in portability tax that they're going to be able to transfer from their Eaglebrook home to their Lake Hollingsworth home, which is really, really nice. It's going to help reduce the annual property taxes as your bottom line. I don't want to give you a dollar amount because I don't know, but here's what I will tell you off the portability topic. If it's just homestead exemption we're talking about, in my opinion and what I've seen, it probably reduces property taxes $400 to $600 a year with the homestead exemption currently being at $50,000. So you can imagine if that goes up and that law passes, what's that going to do? So I hope that's cleared things up for you with the portability part. Again, please go to the Polk County Property Appraiser for current up-to-date information. But as your local real estate agent, I want to add value to you, and hopefully this has helped you today. So hey, thanks so much for tuning into this. Do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, comment, share this if this really helped you. My goal is to help you if you're thinking about purchasing a home in this area. If you're thinking about selling, would love to talk to you and have a conversation. All my contact information is right below. Let's connect on a cell phone call. Let's talk and see what your situation is. But if you just want to email me, go to my website. It's all down there below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whether selling or buying, you got to call Brian. God bless. Have a great day.